What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for MLB Tuesday, July 6th.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon.
so you don't miss our new videos.
In this video, I'm going to go over my top DFS picks for today's MLB slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, we have a 14-game slate tonight, so let's take a look at the pitcher position. I like Carlos Rodon with a 22% pitching advantage over a low-salary batting team, the Minnesota Twins. Carlos Rodon, he pitches his best ball to righty batters, only giving up a .469 OPS versus righties, and he's facing 6 righties here tonight. On top of that, the Twins have only hit 18 of his last 77 pitches. That's a .234 batting average. He's 10,600 FanDuel salary, and he's 300 less on DraftKings. Projected at 22.2 fantasy points here tonight, but I think he can score at least 30 fantasy points in this one. He has an ERA of 2.37. His record is 6-3 on the season, pitching an average of 101 pitches per game, averaging 44 fantasy points per game. He scored 30, and 46 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Carlos Rodon here versus the Minnesota Twins. Okay, let's take a look at the catcher first base position. I like Nate Lowe with a 71% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Jose Urena. Nate Lowe is batting 32% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .818 OPS versus righties. And Jose Urena, he pitches 39% worse to lefties as he does righties, giving up a .065 OPS versus lefties. Nate Lowe is 2,600 FanDuel salary. He's 1,600 more on DraftKings, projected at 10.1 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 6 and 6 fantasy points in his last 2 games. So I like Nate Lowe here versus Jose Urena. Okay, let's take a look at the second base position. I like Starlin Castro with an 82% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Ryan Weathers. Starlin Castro is batting 47% better versus lefty pitchers. He's batting a .098 OPS versus lefties. And Ryan Weathers throws 36% worse to righties as he does lefties, giving up a .721 OPS versus righties. There's no at-bats versus Weathers yet. Starlin Castro is only 2,600 FanDuel salary and only 300 more on DraftKings, so I like that price on both sites. He's projected at 9.6 fantasy points here tonight. Now he's only averaging 7 fantasy points per game on the season, but he scored 3, 13, and 12 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Starlin Castro here versus Ryan Weathers.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Okay, let's take a look at the third base position. Another value play for you. A lot of value plays in this video, so you can stack those bats and pay up for pitcher. I like Josh Harrison with a 41% batting advantage over that same low salary pitcher, Ryan Weathers. Josh Harrison, he's batting 5% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a .764 OPS versus lefties. And we know Ryan Weathers is giving up a .721 OPS versus righties. There's no at-bats versus Weathers yet. And Josh Harrison is only $2,400 FanDuel salary and $200 more on DraftKings. Projected at 8.8 fantasy points here tonight. He's averaging 8 fantasy points per game on the season, and he scored 6, 6, and 6 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Josh Harrison here versus Ryan Weathers. Okay, let's take a look at the shortstop position. Here's a stud pick for you. I like Trea Turner with a 56% batting advantage over that same low salary pitcher, Ryan Weathers. Trea Turner is batting 20% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a 1.103 OPS versus lefties. And Ryan Weathers, as we know, he pitches 36% worse to righties as he does lefties, giving up a .721 OPS versus righties. There's no at-bats versus Weathers yet, and Trea Turner is $3,900 FanDuel salary. He's $2,500 more on DraftKings, projected at 11.7 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 12 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 25, 58, and 9 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I think you got a good opportunity to stack 2 to 3 batters here versus Ryan Weathers, save a bunch of salary. So I like Trea Turner here versus Ryan Weathers. Okay, let's take a look at the outfield position. I like Aaron Judge with a 34% batting advantage over Justice Sheffield. Aaron Judge is batting a .957 OPS versus lefties, and Justice Sheffield, he's pitching 24% worse to righties as he does lefties, giving up a .783 OPS versus righties. Now he is 0 for 2 versus Sheffield, but that's a small sample size, and Aaron Judge's $3,800 FanDuel salary and $1,600 more on DraftKings. Projected at 11.8 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 11 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 9, 19, and 25 fantasy points in his last 3 games. So I like Aaron Judge here versus Justice Sheffield. Another outfielder that I like is Trey Mancini with a 38% batting advantage over Steven Matz. Trey Mancini is batting 24% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a .931 OPS versus lefties. And Steven Matz, he pitches his worst ball versus righty batters, 14% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .957 OPS versus righties. Now there's no at-bats versus Matz yet, but Trey Mancini is only $3,100 FanDuel salary. He's $1,200 more on DraftKings, projected at 14.7 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 11 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 6, 3, and 25 fantasy points in his last 3 games. So I like Trey Mancini here versus Steven Matz.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again and good luck.